Welcome to today's episode of Master Your Minutes. I'm Dr. Sarah Chen, time management researcher and productivity coach. Today, we're exploring practical strategies for successful time management. I'm joined by Professor Michael Rodriguez, who specializes in the psychology of productivity. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you for having me, Sarah. I'm excited to share insights on how our minds process time and how we can leverage this understanding to become more productive.
Perfect. Let's start with the basics. Michael, why do so many people struggle with time management despite its obvious importance?
That's an excellent question. From a psychological perspective, time management isn't just about organizing tasks. It's fundamentally about how our brains perceive time and value tasks. Research shows that we tend to prioritize urgent tasks over important ones, creating what time management experts call the urgency trap.
The urgency trap. I love that term. I often reference Stephen Covey's time management matrix in my workshops, which separates tasks into 4 quadrants. Urgent important, not urgent important, urgent not important, and neither urgent nor important. Most people get stuck in the urgent quadrants, don't they?
Exactly. Our brains are wired to respond to urgency because it triggers our stress response systems. But the most valuable work often falls into that not urgent but important category. Strategic planning, relationship building, skill development. The psychological challenge is training ourselves to prioritize these high-value activities before they become urgent crises.
Let's transition to practical techniques. One method I frequently recommend is time blocking. Could you explain this approach and why it works from a cognitive perspective?
Time blocking involves dividing your day into dedicated chunks for specific tasks or types of work. Psychologically, it's powerful because it creates boundaries that help our brains focus. When we designate specific times for specific activities, we reduce the cognitive load of constantly deciding what to do next.
I've found that time blocking works especially well when combined with understanding your personal energy patterns. For example, I'm most analytically sharp in the mornings, so I block that time for complex problem solving. How important is this personalization?
Incredibly important. Each person has unique circadian rhythms and energy fluctuations. Research in chronobiology shows that matching task types to your optimal cognitive states can increase productivity by up to 20%. For instance, creative tasks might be better suited for slightly unfocused states, while precision work benefits from peak alertness periods.
Another popular technique is the Pomodoro method, 25 minutes of focused work followed by a 5-minute break. What makes this approach so effective?
The Pomodoro technique works because it aligns with how our attention naturally functions. Studies show the average person can maintain deep focus for about 25 to 45 minutes before attention starts to wander. The short breaks prevent mental fatigue and actually enhance overall productivity. It also makes daunting tasks feel more manageable by breaking them into shorter segments.
Let's talk about one of the biggest enemies of effective time management, procrastination. What's happening in our brains when we procrastinate?
Procrastination is fascinating from a neurological perspective. When we contemplate tasks we find difficult or unpleasant, the amygdala, our brain's threat detection center, activates, triggering our avoidance response. It's not actually laziness, it's our brain trying to avoid discomfort. Research shows that procrastination is more about emotion management than time management.
That's such an important distinction. So how do we overcome this emotional barrier?
One effective strategy is what I call the 5-minute rule. Commit to working on the task for just 5 minutes. This bypasses the brain's threat response because 5 minutes feels manageable. Once you start, the hardest part is over, and you'll often continue working beyond those initial 5 minutes because you've overcome that emotional hurdle.
I love that approach. Another technique I recommend is the eat the frog method, tackling your most challenging task first thing in the day. Does research support this approach?
Absolutely. Willpower and decision-making abilities are generally strongest earlier in the day. Research on ego depletion, though somewhat contested in recent years, suggests that self-control is a finite resource that diminishes throughout the day. By completing your most difficult task first, you leverage your peak cognitive resources and create positive momentum for the rest of your day.
Digital distractions are another major time management challenge today. How can we manage technology effectively?
Our devices are designed to capture attention. Notifications trigger dopamine release, creating addictive feedback loops. Psychologically, we need to create distance between ourselves and these triggers. Practical strategies include batching communications at specific times, using do not disturb settings during deep work sessions, and physically distancing from devices when possible.
Speaking of batching, that's another effective technique, grouping similar tasks together. Why does this approach improve productivity?
Task batching reduces what cognitive psychologists call context switching costs. Every time you switch between different types of tasks, your brain needs time to adjust, sometimes up to 25 minutes to regain full focus. By grouping similar tasks, you maintain the same mental context and eliminate these switching costs. For example, handle all your emails at once rather than checking them throughout the day.
We're approaching the end of our episode, so let's share some practical takeaways. Michael, what would be your top 3 time management strategies based on psychological research?
First, align your most cognitively demanding tasks with your peak energy periods. Second, use time blocking with buffer time between blocks to account for unexpected issues. Third, implement a weekly review practice. Research shows that regular reflection dramatically improves time perception and allocation. What about your top recommendation, Sarah?
I'd recommend starting with a clear prioritization system. I use the Eisenhower matrix we discussed earlier. Second, implement the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately rather than scheduling it. Finally, track your time for at least a week to identify where it's actually going versus where you think it's going. Most people are shocked by the discrepancy.
Those are excellent recommendations. I'd add one final psychological insight. Be compassionate with yourself. Perfect time management doesn't exist, and research shows that self-compassion actually improves long-term productivity more than self-criticism.
That's such valuable advice. Time management isn't about squeezing productivity from every second. It's about intentionally directing your time toward what matters most. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise today, Michael.
It's been my pleasure, Sarah. I hope our listeners come away with both practical techniques and a deeper understanding of the psychology behind effective time management.
To our listeners, thank you for joining us today. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe and share with others who might benefit. Remember, mastering time management is a journey, not a destination. Until next time, this is Dr. Sarah Chen for Master Your Minutes, wishing you productive and purposeful days ahead.